because Michael redid his whole porch and he had all this wood. And he gave it to me when he replaced the wood he took off of this house. This is what Michael replaced. All that and all these. Now these babies and these he gave me, the old ones. Well, all this renovation that he did happened many years ago. Oh, 3, 4 years ago. He gave me all this. I take a little bit at a time. Look at all the frames I can make. That ain't easy, because this stuff you had to clean off. So I grabbed a whole layer off of here and I brought it downstairs into my workshop. Wow, this is the way they look now after I plane them. I use this here Delta planer. I've had it forever. So as you can see, these ends, the ends are not all in that great shape. And we have this, as you can see. The planer really does a good job in removing the surface paint. As long as you use an old blade, a really old crappy blade, because you'll ruin your blade right away. After you take paint off, this is what it does to your blades. It destroys them. Picked up some new blades, and when I plane these again, now this wood, of course, as you know, comes off of a porch that was renovated. And as you can see, it doesn't look all that. But after we get rid of these nails, and we cut off the end. So this is what we did today. We passed it one more time through the planer, but through a nice blade, put the nice blade on. Then I cut it so that it fits nice in there. And then we give it a little lip. And this is for our canvases. We got lots of canvases. Then I decide, before I cut this, what side I want to be facing forward. Then I cut a 45-degree angle, about like that. And then I'll cut another 45-degree angle here. And when I'm happy with it, that will be my template. And then I'll do the same thing with this. See, that's a 45 there. Then we put a 45 here. And we'll put it together. Well, as you can see here, clean this off. We cut it, 45-degree angles. We gave that little lip where this painting will sit in. Remember how we did it? And so after we do that, give it a little sanding, and then we piece it together using this clamp. And as you can see, I clamped 2 of them together. It's the unfinished wood. Here's one with lots of little paint chips on. I think I'm doing this for Michael, because he owns a house. And this one, I don't know. I'm just going to do a whole bunch of them. Here's the pile of those pieces of wood all ready to be put together. As you can see, when I clean it out, I make those grooves deep again. See? I make the grooves deep using a screwdriver and a chisel. And very patiently do it, even though you will have an accident like that now and then. Ooh, a little scratch. Well, this has been clamped for about 5 hours. As you can see, it's pretty square, it looks nice. The canvas fits in good. These are the chevron fasteners I use in these frames because it makes it very sturdy after I glue it. And here's what they look like when they're in. You pan those babies in, and gives you that extra support. I do that on the back of the frame. I'm going to try to hammer and film at the same time. That's how that works out for me. And there you go. Every corner has a nice little nail. So I selected my next 4 pieces, and now we're going to frame this baby. I placed my frame upside down on this first, and then we're going to add glue. Use my Elmer's wood glue, and I'm just going to smear it on every single angle piece. I'm going to smear it here and here. I'm going to smear it here and here, and in this corner and this corner. So you smear a light coat of glue, something like this. You don't have to be that crazy about it. Now this is my favorite framing clamp by far. It's not that expensive, about 11 bucks. I just ordered 2 more. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tighten this belt using this little lever, and it's loose, so you pull that, push that in, it gets loose, then you tighten it by pulling the cord here, the belt, and then after you pull the belt, you use this and you twist it, and that will make everything get tight. But before you do that, you're going to make sure all these are equally and nicely aligned. So after you tighten it, you want it to be looking something like that, you know? See the way it's perfectly matched. Corners, you see that? I don't know if you could tell, but it's pretty damn close. So before I give the final tightenings, everything is matched. I get the proper canvas size. This one is not painted on, it's got plastic on it, and I plop it in there. It fits nice. So now I'm going to tighten this baby up as hard as I can. So that's the last of them that I cut and prepared, and there's the rest of them over there. But I always leave these pieces here because they're going to be my templates for the next batch. Now nothing is perfect, you know, so I put these things together, and any little imperfections and stuff, I just get some wood putty and I start puttying the ends, and I'll sand this all down later. And we'll also be working on the top some more, see, because it looks kind of unfinished. See that little piece there? So we'll be taking care of that. So first step here is to cut off the end pieces of all these pieces of wood, see? And we start planing. We start planing off this paint. See, it comes out like this. Spent a good part of the day today using this machine, and I repaired it, and it's working great. And this is the fruit of our labors. Still need to do a little bit more work to it, but you see, we took the paint off of this, and most of it over here. One is going to be at the back, so it really doesn't matter. And this is, I chose this the front, and we got to get the paint off the sides here. Well, it's about 6 o'clock, so I got to go inside now. It's time for beer and wine. Back out here today, and we did the 2 broadsides. Now I got to do one side and then change the adjustment, and then do the other. The good part of the day, planing, and this is the fruit of our labor. These top ones, they're less than perfect. In fact, they're all less than perfect. But after I'm done sanding them, they should look really good. Alright, we're just about done preparing these. These have to be scraped using these tools that I found at Harbor Freight. I think like $3.99 or something like that. Use old sandpaper, put them in little pieces like this, and then we go here and we just do that after we scrape using these tools here. You see, they're not perfect, but they're not supposed to be. They're reprocessed lumber that is about 110 or older. Tomorrow after I do these, I'm actually going to come out with a finer sandpaper, and I'm going to do all of them all over again. But here we are. Went through all these, and now we're going to do our first try to make these frames. And you notice how that looks. Well, what we do is we get these pieces of sandpaper, we fold it so that it fits. You see in here? And then we just work it. And after you work it, and you sand it with a couple grades of sandpaper, you come out looking like this. Now this one I'm doing a little bit different. Each one will be different. Here we are. We did all the first cuts. So everything's cut like this. Okay, now this is a 1/4 inch. Okay, from here to here we want to cut out a 1/4 inch. Now we're going to come and we're going to cut this piece off, and that will be where the picture goes. And it should look something like this when we're done, except I reduced. This was a little bit bigger. I didn't like it, so I made it a little bit smaller. Okay, these are my templates. I cut them today. So this is the short end, and this is the long end. Saw, and we line it up, and we cut. Here's the work I got to do right there. I've done 1 and 2 of them right over here. We glue one together, and when we glued this one that's glued was the template for the first like 13. Well, we're working. Getting all these frames done. Here we cut them. Here's some frames here. Some frames getting glued together over here. Well, move it along. Look at all those frames I just finished making. I got all these frames, and these ones are being glued. We're using this clamp, and we just apply a little glue on each end of every single one of these. So there's glue on each end, and they come together, and they really make a nice seal. And we squeeze this thing together. Just finished sanding all those frames, except for these last few ones. Just want to show you what I'm doing. With 100 grit paper, I'm sanding this smooth, and this smooth, and this smooth. I'm going to do that for these 6 remaining frames. And this is the sander I'm using. These are the frames. These frames are all sanded. Here's one example of a sanded, prepared frame. Next thing, we've got to figure out what biblical verses we're going to put on them, and a number of these. I've been using this bench my dad gave me. All the frames are done. Here's the front part. Now we got all different kinds of variations of this. And this is the back. See that's where the picture goes in. This is the original paint. It's on the frame. We're leaving that. There's going to be a story to this. Now in each one of these frames I'm copying scripture. For now, this is frame number 9, and I'm going to be putting this scripture in. That, and that, and this is what the scripture I'm trying to say. Okay. Now these frames get painted, but very carefully, so that we can get all these nice little lines in it. These are the 13 frames I'm doing for my wife. These are the final frame of the ones I did for Dan. As you can see. Yeah, I do most of this painting right here in my living room on my coffee table. And I have, this is the one stains I'm using right now. I got another, maybe 10 of them downstairs. This is frame 37, all done with it. And this is the scripture from John that describes what this frame is all about. And here's another scripture out of the Gospel of John, which he put on this frame as well. And this is frame number 35. This is the scripture from the book of John, which he put onto this frame number 37. Here we go. And you could read it as I film it. The second scripture comes from the book of Colossians, and here you could read what I have on this particular frame. Try to notice the similarities and what the message I'm trying to portray in these two. So this is where I do all the finishing touches on these frames, and I also do my painting here too. here's the final picture of the painting. See over here, that's really Holly, and she's getting off the boat. I have this on almost every single painting I have. And here is the picture of the turtle. Now this is the picture of the turtle that is on this frame. Check it out. Now once again, you look all the way up here and you see Ollie. She's jumping out of the ship and swimming down to meet that turtle.